Welcome to the SA Podcast. Sit back and enjoy our deep dive into cybersecurity topics and trends.
We talk a lot about the big picture stuff, right? Digital transformation, AI, all that next-gen strategy. But what if the actual foundation is quietly eating the budget you need for those big ideas? So today, we're diving deep into something that hits the bottom line hard. We're going to really scrutinize the costs and capabilities. It's the giant, VMware versus a challenger, ZStack. We need to understand how these infrastructure choices really impact profitability. Where's that tipping point?
It is strategic, and the core problem isn't really VMware's performance, but the issue is financial. VMware's costs could genuinely kill your company's profitability and growth prospects. That's pretty stark.
Kill your growth. Wow. Okay.
So the search is on for something affordable, something agile that doesn't hold you back.
All right, let's unpack ZStack then. They claim, what was it? VMware grade performance without the financial concerns. That sounds ambitious.
It does. Almost too good to be true, you might think. And you have to be skeptical with claims like that, especially about huge cost savings.
What's changed with VMware to make it such a financial burden now? It wasn't always seen this way, was it?
Well, the big shift came with the acquisition and the move to core-based licensing. That fundamentally altered the cost equation for a lot of companies.
Ah, the per-core model. I've heard about that causing issues.
Exactly. Suddenly you're paying based on processors and cores, not just sockets or instances. It led to some massive, often unexpected price hikes. And it deepens that vendor lock-in.
Okay, so how does ZStack tackle that? Is it just cheaper licenses?
It's more fundamental than just cheaper licenses. The low cost isn't about cutting features. It's baked into the architecture itself. ZStack uses an open source core.
Open source. Okay, that usually means a different cost model.
Precisely. It shifts away from proprietary licensing, where the vendor dictates costs based on their profit needs and, well, ownership structure. Instead, ZStack's model focuses on service and support around that open core. That's what enables their low-cost enterprise plans. You're essentially paying for the management, the support, the enterprise features layered on top, not the fundamental architecture itself.
That makes a lot of sense. Avoids that proprietary lock-in tax, so to speak.
Yeah.
But switching infrastructure, that's the scary part, right? Especially for big companies.
Oh, absolutely. It's a massive undertaking. Like you said, open heart surgery while the business is running. Migration risk is huge.
So how does ZStack address that?
Well, that's where they seem to focus technically. First, deployment flexibility. They offer a hyper-converged platform, HCI.
Right, HCI bundles compute, storage, networking, generally seen as the modern, efficient way.
It is. Very scalable. But, and this is key, ZStack also supports the traditional three-tier architecture. Separate servers, storage arrays, network switches.
Why is that important? Isn't everyone moving towards HCI?
Many are, but think about businesses with huge investments in existing traditional hardware. Supporting three-tier means they can migrate gradually, piece by piece. They don't need a massive, disruptive overhaul of their entire data center right away. It significantly de-risks the transition.
Okay, that's a practical point. But what about compatibility? If my VMs are all in VMware formats, that conversion process can be a nightmare. Downtime, complexity.
Yeah, that's often the project killer, isn't it? The sheer effort of converting every single workload. ZStack seems engineered to handle this. They state compatibility with VMware formats, and it's not just about file types. They emphasize a simplified migration process designed to minimize downtime. Crucially, they talk about supporting live migrations.
Live migrations, meaning you can move a running virtual machine without shutting it down.
Exactly. For anything high availability, think financial transactions, critical databases moving a workload without interruption is non-negotiable. It's the difference between success and, well, disaster.
So flexibility in deployment, compatibility, live migration. It sounds like they've thought about the practical pain points.
And it all ties back to scalability and control, too. You mentioned VMware's licensing creating potential ceilings on growth.
Right. The core-based costs could make scaling prohibitively expensive.
ZStack aims to remove those ceilings. Because the cost model is tied more to usage than these sort of punitive license tiers, they offer scalability on demand. You pay for what you use.
Genuine elasticity.
Yes, a massive relief for companies trying to grow fast. Our sources actually noted ZStack's platform capacity for scaling goes far beyond what VMware, kind of constrained by those core licenses, is willing or maybe even able to support easily.
Okay. The technical arguments are compelling. Open architecture, flexibility, scalability. But let's circle back to that number you mentioned earlier, 80% savings.
Yes, the Cambodian example.
Yeah, 80% is huge. Is that realistic everywhere, or is it specific to certain markets or situations? What's the fine print on that?
That's absolutely the right question. That 80% figure likely represents the maximum potential saving, probably comparing a very heavily licensed, maybe older VMware setup with ZStack's model in a market where VMware fees were particularly high.
Okay, so maybe not everyone gets 80%, but you can maintain data control while drastically cutting costs. The core point holds globally. The architecture allows for a potentially massive reduction in total cost of ownership, TCO.
Even if for you it's only 50%, that's still transformative for your budget, isn't it? It fundamentally changes the P&L.
50% is still enormous. And this is where it gets really strategic, I think. It stops being just about saving IT costs.
Exactly.
And starts being about funding other things. That freed up cash, that sudden budget space, that's the fuel for the stuff we started with. Automation, RPA, AI adoption.
Precisely. You're not just trimming expenses, you're actively funding innovation that maybe seemed out of reach before.
That's the real competitive angle then.
That's the so what. If your competitor is still pouring money into just keeping their VMware lights on, and you've redirected that same capital into, say, better customer tech or smarter operations, you gain an edge.
Okay, let's make this concrete. Banking and finance, first, high stakes, lots of regulation.
Right. Banks rely heavily on VMware for those high availability data centers. Transaction processing, compliance checks, critical stuff. VMware charges a premium for that reliability.
So if they switch to ZStack and save, say, 60–70%, where does that money go? The strategic outcome isn't just saving, it's reinvestment. The sources point to redirecting those funds into two key areas: cybersecurity, which is a constant arms race, and getting more expensive all the time.
Absolutely. And the other is building better mobile banking apps, improving customer experience, retention, maybe even attracting new customers.
So investing in safety and customer value instead of just virtualization licenses.
Exactly. One generates revenue and loyalty, the other doesn't directly.
Okay, manufacturing next. Often tight margins, downtime is catastrophic. VMware managing IoT, factory floor systems, supply chains.
Yeah, complex and resource-heavy setups. Here, the reinvestment focus is efficiency and uptime. Saved funds go into deploying predictive maintenance tools.
Using sensors, maybe some machine learning, RPA for analysis.
Precisely. Analyzing equipment data in real time to predict failures before they happen. This isn't just tweaking maintenance schedules, it drastically cuts unexpected downtime. That boosts quality, ensures they can meet orders, makes them more competitive.
Makes sense. How about tourism and hospitality? An industry really shaken up recently. They use VMware for reservations, customer databases.
Huge systems there. With ZStack savings, the reinvestment is all about customer experience and attraction, especially now. They need to woo back travelers who expect more digital interaction.
So what kind of tech are we talking about?
Things like sophisticated AI chatbots for bookings and service, maybe deploying serving robots in hotels, we see that sometimes now, or creating really immersive VR tours to let people experience a destination before they even book.
Translating infrastructure savings directly into visible, appealing customer features.
Spot on. Immediate value.
Okay, what about industries maybe less associated with cutting-edge IT, like agriculture? VMware for crop monitoring, ERP systems.
ERP is huge in ag, managing everything from finance to logistics. Here, the cost reduction unlocks capital for precision farming tech. Tools like that let farmers monitor crop health, irrigation needs, pest issues with incredible accuracy, field by field, sometimes plant by plant. It's taking virtualization savings and directly boosting yields, improving efficiency, even sustainability.
From server costs to crop yields, that's a clear line. Education, virtual classrooms, admin tools are standard VMware uses.
Classic case. Post-2020, the strategic advantage unlocked here is reach and accessibility. The savings allow institutions to launch much more sophisticated e-learning platforms.
Targeting remote students, maybe even global markets.
Yes, it lets them scale their offerings way beyond the physical campus, tap into new student populations, and ensure continuity. That's a major competitive driver now.
And finally, SMEs. Tighter budgets, often just basic server virtualization on VMware.
For SMEs, this kind of switch, it might be the difference between just surviving and actually growing. They need every dollar for things like digital marketing, maybe upskilling their staff.
Things that directly impact competitiveness today.
Right. The analysis really emphasized that redirecting these virtualization savings lets SMEs finally afford to adopt automation, streamline their processes, and just become more agile to compete with bigger players. It's about survival and growth.
This really ties it all together, doesn't it? The choice of your virtualization platform isn't just some IT plumbing decision. It's not just a line item cost.
No, it's deeply strategic.
It directly determines how much capital you actually have available for genuine innovation. If you're finding it hard to fund that AI project or that automation push, maybe the money is locked up further down the stack. The conclusion is pretty direct. Not just saving, but growing because you saved.
The mechanism is unlocking that capital, that potential 50, 60, maybe even 80% reduction, and deliberately reinvesting it, investing in automation, efficiency, agility, things that build a sustainable advantage rather than just paying a hefty vendor tax year after year.
So let's leave you, the listener, with a very practical thought based on this. If a platform shift could realistically cut your infrastructure costs by such a significant margin, let's say even 50%, never mind 80%, what specific high-impact project currently sitting on the shelf due to budget constraints would you fund first? Calculate what that saving might look like for your organization and identify that number one priority. That's where this infrastructure decision connects directly to your future growth.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
This deep dive is brought to you by SA Solutions for Asia, empowering you and fortifying your cybersecurity knowledge. Thanks for joining us on the SA podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share, or leave us a comment, and get in touch with us for all your cybersecurity needs. SA Solutions for Asia, empowering you and fortifying your cybersecurity knowledge.